ranchers like you work every day to feed the world. But are you in tune with what the world wants to eat and drink? Today we're focusing on 3 cool foods that are particularly popular amongst American consumers right now: cheese, bacon, and craft beer, and how farmers and ranchers are and should be capitalizing on this opportunity. As traditional milk sales struggle, cheese is thriving. On average, American cheese consumption is the highest it's been since the USDA started tracking it in 1975. Americans are eating 35 pounds of cheese each annually, and cheesemonger CJ Beanert has seen that popularity firsthand in his local cheese shop.
Cheese is not a trend. I know that we want to say it's trending, and it may be gaining in popularity, and that's only because we're a young civilization and we haven't had the time to just fully educate ourselves on all the delicious and amazing things the world has to offer. For the longest time, and early in my career, it was just Eurocentric European cheeses. We're seeing an uptick in American artisan cheeses and in their quality at the same time. Now, with milk prices being at record lows and kind of being very volatile, farms closing, a lot of farms are looking, they love the farm life, they love the farm, multi-generations on that farm. They're not just gonna, walk away and abandon everything. They're looking at value adding. And on a dairy farm, it's with dairy, fermented dairy products or ice cream. Cheese is something that makes a lot of sense.
I'm Kevin Dietzel. I am the farmer and cheesemaker here at Lost Lake Farm in Jewell, Iowa. We are an 80-acre farm. Most of our farm is in perennials, pasture and hay, and we have right now 18 cows. We milk the cows once a day, and we turn all the milk into cheese right here on farm. People like supporting things that they feel are supporting small businesses within their local community, and supporting what they see as a family farm, which we are. I mean, we're a family that runs this farm. So I think people like that idea, economically, rather than supporting some big, factory farm and factory cheese production that's coming from who knows where. They like the idea of knowing who's raising the cows and who's making the cheese. That's really cool. And so I think people are willing to pay a little bit more for it. What makes it artisan is the fact that we're, every step of the process involves hand work, and it involves feeling the vat, feeling the cheese, and smelling it, and I'll take little samples and taste it to see how sour it is and what and to see what the stage is, and so there are just so many things that when you scale it up, things have to be standardized a little bit more, and so that gives us maybe sometimes some variability, but it gives us also more attention to the details to make a really good quality product.
And here in Iowa, we have some of the richest land in the world, and that's why we grow some of the most amazing, crops. We can also produce some really amazing cheese. So we're finding there's a lot of great producers, and it's growing just here in the Midwest. But really, you're seeing that uptick and that growth across the United States. So our shop, we're 70% American artisan. The goal of the shop is to be 100%, and we believe that can happen in my lifetime. So that's a goal. And as I was saying, we connect a lot with our producers. We also work a lot with producers that are just looking at starting up and helping them as far as scaling, how much cheese and what prices and how should they sell these cheeses. Because wholesale, direct to consumer, there's a lot of different. A lot of things to consider in that business, and it's a lot for any one producer to not only milk all their animals and make all the cheese, but then to market it and know how to sell it.
As cheese experiences a bump in popularity, bacon feels that same love. U.S. consumers continue to look for new ways to include bacon in their diets and flock to events like the Blue Ribbon Bacon Festival in Des Moines, Iowa, to celebrate their love of the tasty pork product.
My name is Brooks Reynolds. I'm the founder and chairman of the Iowa Bacon Board, the head of the Blue Ribbon Bacon Festival. We have the largest bacon festival in the world here in Des Moines, Iowa at the Iowa Event Center. It's our 10th anniversary. This year's theme is the good, the bad, and the bacon. We've got about 10,000 people here celebrating all things bacon.
Do you think it's helping consumers understand where bacon is really coming from, or the pork producers and the work that goes into it and where it comes from on a pig? What do you think?
You know, I think so. I think they're drawn here because of the taste of bacon, and they love bacon and lots of things. But I do think that we talk about where it comes from on the hog and what it takes to raise pork efficiently and with good food safety. And so I think it's a great way of promoting pork, of raising the visibility and the understanding, but it's fun too.
How has this event changed in the 10 years that it's been going on?
Well, when we first started, we only had about 150 people. Now we have well over 10,000. We've had almost 50,000 people attend our events. We do events all over the world, Iceland, Colorado. We're thinking about going overseas to Japan. We've done Las Vegas. We do bike rides now. We love bacon. We love supporting Iowa farmers, and we try to educate the consumer as much as possible of where their bacon comes from, and just having a lot of fun.
Bacon has plenty of fans, but so does craft beer. Hop growers in Michigan are tapping into the consumer love for unique local beers by offering craft breweries a variety of homegrown, flavorful hops to include in their beers.
You know, beer is easy, right? You go to the store, it's in the 6-pack, you pick it up, you open it, you drink it, but everything in there is comes from an ingredient that, you know, came from a grower somewhere. So it isn't just invented, you know, it's not synthesized in a tank at a chemical company. It starts in the ground.
Well, without agriculture, obviously you can't have beer. There's no barley, there's no wheat, there's no hops. I think that they go hand in hand. We're really proud to use all of our two-row malts from Pilot Malt House, which is a malt house from Michigan, and we're trying to access as many hops from Michigan as we can, as well as yeast.
5 years ago, the craft beer consumer wasn't as knowledgeable as they are today. They're starting to understand more what to expect in different beers. For example, hop varieties are probably the biggest one, where there's so many different hop varieties out there, and people are starting to understand which hop does which flavors and aromas that they like.
So Hophead Farms is a completely vertically integrated company. So we farm the hops, we pick, dry, bale, pelletize, package, store, market, and sell all the way up.
We try and use strictly Michigan product wherever possible. Hophead Farms is obviously one of the big ones in here, and they keep adding different hop farms all over Southwest Michigan. So it's really exciting to kind of post that we use their products. I think people, especially in the local areas, really enjoy drinking local as much as they can.
Well, I think that the popularity of craft beer is partly because there's a lot of passionate, dedicated people that, you know, along the last couple of decades chose to kind of put their necks out there and make more interesting beer. So first of all, it has to be there for it to grow, and there are people that put that forward. I also think that it's not just beer, that this is part of a larger cultural shift to people wanting to connect to what they buy. So it's happening all throughout food and drink. But it's also happening beyond that. I think overall there's a consciousness that's growing. People miss some of the old days where you knew your butcher and your baker and your brewer. And I find that as a culture we're coming back to that, but we're coming back to that with modern market and technology and tools, so it's able to really grow in a very dynamic way.
Hi, I'm Dave Mowitz. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit subscribe right here if you haven't already, and click that little bell right here to be notified when we post a new video. And click here to see more great videos.